It's a fallacy. Can you tell me what a fallacy is? They adore in a natural act of adoration the same God. We don't even have this nonsense in the Orthodox Church. A natural act of adoration. I don't even know what that is. Let's move on. Don't care what Gavin Ortland says. Don't care what he thinks about Gavin Ortland.
25 years after the crucifixion, when unconverted Jews weren't just ignorant of Christ, but openly rejected him. And yet Paul still says the Jews have zeal for God, and not something else like a demon. This description would also apply to Muslims who show zeal for...
Paul says they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. Just like the woman at the well, believes she has a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. So let's go back to the idea of knowing, right? In the Bible, we have different senses of the word know. When we think about, for example, Adam knew his wife Eve, and they conceived. That's the intimate union sense of truly knowing. That's different than knowing about God or knowing about someone or knowing about somebody's wife or whatever. That's very different. It's two different senses. And that's in the scriptures because we've all heard Adam knew his wife Eve, right? So when we're talking about knowing God, we can equivocate on knowing in a general abstract sense or knowing about versus knowing in an intimate, unitive, worship, mystical union sense. In the Orthodox liturgy, we are not just knowing about God, we are knowing God in a synthesis, synergy sense. We are synergizing with God. We are participating in his uncreated grace really and truly. Again, the easiest way to just dismiss all of this, think of Jake, the Muslim metaphysician. We've done debates. We've argued with him. We've had, he was in the Discord for a long time. He learned and studied a lot of Orthodox Trinitarian theology and Roman Catholic theology. So I would say amongst the Muslims, as far as I'm aware, Jake knows more about the Trinity, or he knows the positions more accurately, or perhaps Dr. Khalil. Between those two, they know it the best. They know about the Trinity. They know about the deity of Christ, and they probably could state our views pretty well. Does that mean they know God and worship God and love God and adore God in the true sense? Of course not. This is so silly that we even have to debate this. They don't, because they are in a religion that explicitly rejects the Trinity and the deity of Christ. So they don't worship and know in the relevant, true, proper sense. Let's look at the Quran. Every Muslim that becomes, every person that converts to Islam makes their statement of their profession of faith, which is implicit and sometimes explicitly a rejection of the Trinity and the deity of Christ. O people of the book, do not go to extremes regarding your faith. Say nothing about Allah except the truth. The Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, is no more than a messenger of Allah and the fulfillment of his word through Mary, and a spirit created by the command from Allah. Jesus is a creature. He's not the divine Son of God. And this is a basic pillar of Islam. So, believe in Allah and his messenger. Do not say Trinity. Stop for your own good. Allah is only one God. Glory to him. So do you understand that Islam is not like the pagans in the sense of knowing or not knowing? They're not in a state of invincible ignorance, as the Roman Catholics argue. They're actually explicitly creating a religion based on Tawheed, or what they think is Tawheed, which is rejecting the Trinity and the deity of Christ. The religion is built on that, you idiots. It is not like an invincible, ignorant guy on an island, pagan. Now, from another perspective, from the Orthodox perspective, it doesn't really matter in terms of grace and salvation and worship, whether you're a pagan or a Muslim, because they both don't count. That's the point. Romans 1, 1 John 2, John 5, John 8, whether you're a pagan, a Unitarian, a polytheist, a Satanist, they all don't count. It doesn't matter, because it only takes one error or heresy or schism to cut you off. That's what they don't understand. It's not a let me stack up and get 80% of the worship of God. I'm going to worship 90% of God via accepting 9 of the 10 attributes, and then I'm good. The Roman Catholic Church itself taught, as we saw in Satis Cognitum and Mystici Corporis, that any one heresy severs you from the mystical body and the worship and grace of God. One heresy, one rejection. So if you're anti-Trinitarian, you're already out. It doesn't matter. The religion is premised on anti-Trinitarianism. And every Roman Catholic I've ever heard says Jehovah's Witnesses don't count. Then Muslims don't count. And you just contradicted yourself on your Vatican II documents.